koledo enwere uwe n'okpueze so ya anọkwa m na nche na-echere oge ahụ lee ala Biafra nke na-arịbata ụmụ Igbo lee ala ọma ahụ ala koledo enwere uwe n'okpueze so ya anyị nọkwa na nche na-echere oge ahụ unu lee ala ọma ahụ nke na-arịbata kamanụ lee ala ọma ahụ nwara mma ala koledo enwere uwe n'ocheeze so ya anyị nọkwa na nche na-echere oge ahụ lee ala Biafra nke na-arịdata AMADIOHA lenu ala ọma ahụ ala koledo enwere uwe n'okpueze so ya anọkwa m na nche na-echere oge ahụ lee ala Biafra nke na-arịdata. Mobs may combine, armies may assemble, colonies may defame, but the truth about the kingdom of Biafra will go independently, nobly, until AMADIOHA has accomplished its work. I have come before you this beautiful Sunday morning to bring you a wonderful episode as to why we are here as Eastern Youth Network. I wish you well. Subscribe with our channel and get more updates and more lectures. Today's lecture is going to be a wonderful one, a very interesting discussion, though political in nature, but then it is what concerns us as at today. We are all citizens, and what concerns one concerns all, and what concerns all concerns one. Today we are in an era of confusion, an era of unbalanced political situation, an era where government disobey policies, those that make policies. And if you know, in our culture, as this platform represents, where cultural discussions are being carried out, where cultural wisdom are being related to, here, with this in my hand, you will understand that it is an important situation. When in our culture this comes out, it means the matter is very, very serious and must be taken as such. I want you to understand, based on the question that I got over my last video, and I was asked to respond to these questions in a video, and that is what I want to look onto today. In this video, I want us to look into the situation of the Obidati, the Jagaban, and the articulators in the environment, and many other political aspirants out there in the environment. And as an environmental analyst and development professional, I have been asked a question over why I said that the three candidates are not the problem. None of them is the problem for tomorrow's politics. And I was advised to respond on a video of which I want you to pay very much attention. I know all of us have our differences, our individual understandings towards what politics is all about, but then let us look from another perspective. I will answer or respond to these questions in three different dimensions. I'm putting these 3 points. I want you to get your pen and paper and write it down, and then tell me that I am wrong or I am right. The first discussion, or the first topic I'm going to pick up, is the apartheid of the environment, the apartheid nature of our political system, the apartheid nature of the government, the apartheid nature of what we call development. And what is that apartheid? It is something done by somebody with power to someone without power, which is fundamentally unjust. Something done to somebody with power to someone without power, which is fundamentally unjust. That is apartheid. And what is, and if we look at this apartheid situation, we can cite the case of Hausa, Yoruba, and the Igbo in the environment. The three major ethnic groups that constitute the environment of Nigeria. Okay, now in this apartheid situation, we also consider the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We all, the youth of Nigeria, I would say 80% of us are obedient. And we are obedient because we want a change. Now, in that our obedient nature, because of the change we want, what kind of change? And the aspirant says it is to recover back Nigeria. It is to recover back the nation. Recover it from where? From what? From whom? Now, that is also a concern. If such principle of apathy is existing in our environment and we are to enthrone a new government, what do you think that government can achieve in this kind of environment? Tell me what a president now coming in Nigeria can achieve. Tell me what he will do. Is it the unjust fundamentalism in the ground, or is it the structure that is not there? So what is the president coming to do? I've tried to look into their manifestos and I do not see anything reasonable. And now, after this discussion today, you will now ask yourself a question. In an environment where these 3-4 pillars are going to drop today as a shell, represented by these 3 different elements or 4 different elements before me, then you have to go home and rethink. I would like to liken it to a parable in Igbo land, Solas or Parokwa. You know what is okwa? Okwa is a breadfruit. Now, in our culture, when you are told to sit back and carry breadfruit, means by the time you will pick it one, you know it has many seeds. If you carry a breadfruit and sit back and begin to pick it one by one, before you finish picking it, you would have wisdom. You will have a thought. So that is what I want you to do today after this lecture, is for you to and then ask yourself, what is this candidate going to accomplish or going to achieve in this kind of system where apartheid is a key priority of existence? Number 1. Number 2, totalitarianism. 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 How many times did I sing this subject? Totalitarianism. It is a system where the government rejects individual liberty, where you and I don't have our liberal thinking, we don't have our liberal application. That individual liberty is seized from the environment. Now, in that totalitarianism, the rule of law is disregarded. And this is a basic platform in the environment of Nigeria, where we want to stand on this 40 platform to elect a president. What will this president accomplish? Is it to avert this apartheid that has already eaten us onto hatred, or is it the totalitarianism that is now eating us up? There is this regard to life that this totalitarianism government system does not approve. They don't have regard to life. How is a government, how do government portray regard to life? Let me cite a case of herdsmen, let me cite the case of bandits, let me cite the case of Omoteku and the ESN. Now, Eastern Security Network is being projected or advised by our brother Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to the Eastern governor that this is a necessary thing to be done towards the problem that we are to pose in the future over dominance. It's also in this discussion, I will come up to that. And the failure to do that, he took a proactive measure before them to set up the security system for our own safety. Why? He did not disregard our lives. He protected our lives. But the government, because of their totalitarianism act and belief in the system of their governance, rejected that regard to life that young man offered as a gift to mankind. You see, they now brought a countermeasure. Ebubagu security and Eastern security. Why is it that they cannot exist? All is everybody's business. But now Ebubagu have proven not to be for the people. They are Fulani caliphates, which must be eradicated. We have, and now the government is against it. The system is against it. But Omoteku is existing without no problem. The army find pleasure in going every day to the bush in search of ESN and fighting. Why? It's the same group, you are fellow human beings, lives that want to protect the lives of their own people. You label them criminals. So in this kind of government, in this kind of situation, is it proper for us to think of election, to elect who, to come and do what? Ask yourself a question. Oh, I am not against your opinion, but try to look into this point I am dropping today in this video and answer to these questions. Why Obidati is not the solution, why Atiku is not the solution, why Jagaban, the drug lord, is not the solution. None of these people is our solution. Our solution is divide Nigeria. Let us go our separate ways and develop ourselves individually and collectively in a system of unification order. Let us proceed. Look at another point of our national political system. What is the face of our national politics? The face of our national politics is who gets what. What is my share? And how will I get it? Who gets what? That is the system of our national politics. Now ask yourself, in this kind of system, who are you electing? Listen, I have followed politics from my 18 years old that my mother was a PDP, I was ABGA. And my reason is not that I want to drop political situation, but to study our political national system, our national political system. Let me use in other words. And after studying these things, I understand that we run a national politics of who gets what. And that is a danger to our existence. It's a problem. What is my share? What will I get? Before you go to come to as a president, Peter will be telling me that you have not gone to sign agreement with Obasanjo of what he will get. Peter will be, Atiku, tell me that you have not gone to sign agreement with Sokoto Caliphate of what you will give them. Which one did you sign with the youth, what you will give them? I know all these things is a political system. That is our national politics system. Who gets what? You must have to go and bow to somebody because you want to get something. Just like as Tinubu is claiming today that he made Buhari a president. You see, that is the kind of system. So it's not you and I that voted Buhari. He has just given you a clear, that is just the result of the election that he bring Buhari in. That means Tinubu made him. He used his money to pay off INEC to announce Buhari. That is the truth, because that is what it means. And now it is his turn. You see? Now someone is claiming turn of a national decision. Someone saying it's his turn. And when you look at our leaders in their slogan, they say Southeast turn, South turn, it is Igbo turn. Are you not stupid in saying those languages? Does it exist? If we say we have a nation of 1.7 people, do we need to hear it is this person turn, it is Southwest turn? That is where you now know that such national system is as good as collapse, does not exist. It's a trade thoroughfare of come and it's a game. Let's just put it that way. That a national system of this kind in politics is not a nation, it's a game. As an environmental professional, as a specialist, I'm analyzing you, the environment. Then go home, sit back, and ask yourself a question. What is the way forward in this situation? Because there are things you say you can do in 4 years, in 8 years, in 20 years. Let me tell you, this point I am pointing to you today cannot be amended. It's like a tree that have borne many fruits. Which one will you kill? Which one will you stop? Did you now see it? So it is only sharing the nation, so that the majority of the people who have taken this fruit and have reproduced in them will go and suffer their wrath. so that others who have not chosen this path can establish a proper path for themselves. This is the future of Nigeria. Minus that, we are doing nothing. We are doing nothing. Okay, let us proceed. In the national party system, the danger is separate development. How do I mean by separate development? Let me take the example of Governor Onyesom of Rivers State thanking Buhari for paying the 13% of how many years ago, but Abia State was not paid. They mentioned the state they paid. You see, separate development. That is one of the characters of our national politics that is a danger and that is killing us. Separate development. This separate development, what profit? It has no profit than destruction. Okay, I have lived to see Rivers State, a beautiful city. And I give him some that kudos for investing that money that was given to him. He did not pocket it. And he said, this is how I got the money I am using for project. That means there is money. This money we are seized. And in an environment where someone claims totalitarian authority in all things, you see that the environment cannot grow. There is no how we can grow in Nigeria. The loot will continue. Only thing we know is gather the money, keep it in a room and lock it, and let people suffer and die. That is their system. That is a common Islamic sense. That is the common sense of every Islam, is get a room and hoard this money. That is all. That is the common sense of the least Islam, Arab man, the least of Islam. His own is hoard the money. They don't know about investment. It's to hoard the money. They don't invest. They don't know about the policies they will introduce is a strong security, thinking that strong security is control. An environment of Nigeria. Let's look at it, another danger of that separate development in our national politics. Why will Buhari make such payments that is owed to oil blocks in Nigeria? Is Abia State not part of the oil blocks? Why was Abia State not paid? I'm concerned about my own state because I have to look at records. And we are saying nothing. Why? Is Abia State not part of the deal again? That is separate development. That means that President Buhari government is an example of segregation, is an example of supremacy, is an example of domination, is an example of occupants, like the herdsmen introducing their ranches in every state. So let us look into these things. If in an environment where this point that I have laid before you is existing, onto eating up even the minds of the common youth, okay, let's look into that supremacy of a thing, an apartheid. Look at Peter Obi, who has been a governor before. Look at Dati. That is a senator. And they are going to a state in the Nigeria that they are law abiding, they are class citizens. And they deny them access for a rally. Is it a war? It's a campaign. It's a level playground. Be it SDP, any. You come to say, come and do your program. We are all there. It is for every one of us. We are there together. So why will a governor give excuse to give a citizen of Nigeria a place to do his program? A campaign, not a courteous activity. You see the way, you see our mentality? Tell me why Obaseke, why they should deny the stadium. Why? Tell me any reason. If AFRA has to do with the campaign of One Nigeria, and this candidate have said we want to use there, for the state to respect the nation, they will cancel any program that has to do in that place, because the campaign is a national thing. It's not an individual thing. We're talking about the good of Nigeria here. And the example act of the leaders present does not even show any light of that good in the next 2-4 centuries. Go to Dr Charles Amanze. So these are the characters. Environmental analysis. These are the characters we want to analyze in the system of government. Now, if these characters exist in our system, my brother, my sister, the Obidati, the articulator, and the Jagaban, there is no way forward. It's not the way forward. The way forward is 3 presidents to peacefully resolute towards separatism of Nigeria. Everybody goes home and then rebuild themselves. These 3 presidents should sit down, structure a means of dissolution peacefully, so that we all go home and then begin afresh. That will make us more stronger. That will make us more noble. That will make us more great. I testify to you, the Obidati, that is the way forward. I testify to you, the articulator, that this is the way forward. I testify to you, the Jagaban, that this is the way forward. Are we even supposed to allow someone to have, no matter, even though forfeited, even though it is a disclaimer, even though it is not the truth, even though that he was labeled, someone that has undergone drug charges, to come ever to even talk about a #1 citizen of a nation? Are we not crazy? Are we not stupid? Even if it is not a political convict, it is a drug with evidence of forfeitures. And we say the environment is good, and this same person is the same person telling you that he made your president the president. Who are we? That is to tell you that we are stupid. We are animals. We don't have sense. We don't reason. With our professorhood, with our lawyerhood, with everything that we have, our heads is still empty. There's nothing inside. You see, when the Kano looks as if he was insulting people, he never insulted you. But that is the only way he could draw your attention, so that you can listen. We are being stupid here. We are not listening. We are not doing the right thing. So go back in and revolute. This is the time to resolve. This is the time to dissolve. This is the time to stand erect, to stand tall, to face what is truth and justice. It is now. If we fail it now, we have many more problems ahead. So let us start now. Let us face truth. Forget whatsoever. Go to the north and take a careful environmental analysis of the characters of our national activity, and then come to the east, go to the west and all that. You see that the land have so divided in segregation that we cannot even develop. Remember, development is an anchor. If you don't anchor, you cannot spring. So the states need to anchor to one another if actually we say we are one Nigeria. But what is going on? There is separatism. There is separate development. So tell me how Nigeria is going to stand. Irrespective of politics, the system of politics, the parties is a platform for us to run through to come into the leadership circle. And if any platform you come from and the people from there empowered you to come in to represent them, in that circle should be one purpose. Party have ended. Our individual difference has ended. We have come. The individual difference is only when the election is going on. As far as the circle, we have come into the circle, it is for the purpose of the people. Party does not make sense there anymore. But today, what do we have? And yet we say we went to school. Yet we say we are developed. We don't know the value of what makes our development worthwhile. We believe it is by strong agitation. I'm still speaking too many grammars. No. Now, service is not your own. Service is to the people. It's the people's work. Now, why will you now go in to serve the people and you claim dominance? You claim everything that you are all and all. The people is no longer it. Then when you now want to go back to the power, you start looking for the people. No now. It's not. We are not yet in that era. We believe that Muhammadu Buhari will be elected that with his kind of disciplinary measures, we know him in the military, that he will be able to curb and arrest the situation of corruption in the environment. But Jagaban, in his speech, has made me to understand that it was not the Buhari we thought that we elected. It was the Buhari that obeyed the drug lords. So to have a deal, every person have a stake in the system. You must go. If you don't tell them what you will give, if your own bid is bigger than this one, they give you whose bid is bigger and who will dance to their own tune, then you can come on board. Is that a way forward? Is that why we are here? Is that why we are here? It's the person I'm asking you as a youth. So let us go home, analyze these things as I have discussed them. Don't forget the apartheid, don't forget the totalitarianism, don't forget the national politics, don't forget the evil of separate development. Look into these 4 points that I drop in this video, and then after you have analyzed it by picking the seed of breadfruit one by one in your brain, studying it, then you will understand that truly Nigeria has no way forward. Even after the election, nothing will happen except problems. So the only way forward is for us to go our separate ways, develop ourselves, and represent who we are in its proper sense. That is my humble opinion. That is my humble advice to every youth in your obedient movement, in your articulated movement, in your Jagaban movement. I wish you well. I wish you well. But to know that the problem doesn't lie there, and that is not the answer to the problem we are facing today. So in the environment, it is the wish of the people that they serve their God. And it is my wish to serve my God. And I know the only way a system can be perfect is where there is a liberal thinking people in one particular concern and resolve it. If we cannot learn to resolve our concern, but we learn to accumulate the concern, we cannot move forward. So before election, I will advise the youth to look into the judicial strength of the nation that we want to do election on next year. The judiciary, which is the common place of the common man, a hope of the common man, the place of the common man, that now is under decision of one man, totalitarianism. Totalitarianism. Who are you? Who is the law? Change him. Bring another person. Is that the system? Because he did not do what you asked him to do, he is the wrong one. So let us not say that we don't see that the environment is already condemned, that we need to go home. I want us to understand that the system is already finished. There is no hope here. So the only way Nigeria is heading for breakup, 3 presidents. Then from there we can prepare and share amicably the treasuries. Everybody will go home without any war. That is sense of humor. But if I know, because they are animals, they want to go to war. They want to shed blood. The white men will support them to go keep them machine, keep their arm, go and fight and kill them. Let it not happen. Yes, they will support you to do that. But it's not the answer. Today, the herdsmen want domination. That is what this kind of government brings. They want to dominate. As you give them ranches in communities, the next 4 or 5 years, they have killed everybody and took over. That is domination. That is what the government is going. Tell me what Obi can do in the mix of all this. I did not go into economy. It's not my business. I am paying attention to what concerns me, the social characters of the environment. What concerns me, because it concerns my culture. Now, if you go into the economic situation of the country, you see that there's a whole lot of blunder there. And no, I'm not, that is not where I'm going to. I'm talking about that which concerns us as humans. Because the only thing that makes man, a successful man, is that he has been able to understand the difference between the body he carries and the spirit in the body that he carries. That is what matters. And in that body and the spirit lies this principle, this foundation I laid before you now, for this body and the spirit to stand. That means the government system, our national party, should not be for the interest of anything, but for only the interest of the man that stands in that land. Until that purpose is achieved, there is no government. Not interest of color, race, group, people, no. As far as that man is standing, that man should be regarded in the system. That is a true government. Do we have it? Do we see any such future here? Now, to conclude my speech of today, I want you to know that this lecture is to enlighten you, is to help you think. This lecture is for you to begin to look into the future and not the very present. Forget about the little twinkle stars and look into the greater light above us, so that we can be able to get the comprehensive blessing that God has in stock for us. Not according to the will of man, but according to the will of this eternal creator called AMADIOHA. I wish you well. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us. Ask us questions. Like the person that asked the question that triggered this lecture. Without your questions, I will not know how you feel. And I cannot defend whatsoever thing I have taught you. I want you to remember that the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth is that Biafra must come, and he has come. He's here. Prepare. I wish you well. Till we meet again on this video. Be with us and follow us up. I love you. Have a wonderful evening.